Okay, today's video, we're going to talk about brick and mortar marketing that matters and actually works. None of that BS that these marketing gurus that want you to hire their marketing firm, the little crappy little firms, are going to tell you that works, that just will tell you anything you want to hear in order to get you to part with your money. This information is coming from somebody who runs an advertising agency that guarantees results for their clients. We're the only agency out there that does anything like that, that is more profit from your ads up front to offset the management fees that we charge, or there's no fee. I'm Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, the agency in which I refer to here, and have 20 years of online advertising experience to give you the antidotes that I'm going to share with you here in today's video about the dozen plus brick and mortar businesses that I've set up advertising campaigns for and scaled to millions upon millions of dollars a year in sales. I will go through what the techniques are that we use to generate these millions of dollars of sales profitably, starting from a very small level, actually from just opening the store to millions of dollars, as well as stores that are already doing $1 million plus and generated $1 million plus more dollars in revenue at the same level of ROI that company and client expected. I will go through how to replicate these techniques for yourself, as well as what these actual brick and mortar companies were, because we had sold anything from beds to elderly care supplies to motorcycle gear, all of the above and more at our company. And if you watch to the end of the video, I will cover what the return was that we generated for these specific companies, so you get an idea of what kind of return these techniques will provide for yourself. With that said, getting into the actual content here. So I've marketed and grown several brick and mortar stores, as I mentioned. With that said, if I had to package up everything that basically will work for most brick and mortar stores, this is what it is, and I'm going to share it with you here. I've got the list of things that I would try in your case if you're running or responsible for generating millions of dollars in sales for your brick and mortar store for yourself. The very first thing I'm going to mention right up front, and this is not having to do with online marketing, but nevertheless, this is something that I'm going to do. If I have a brick and mortar store, knowing what I know about in dealing with a lot of brick and mortar store owners, am going to look for local referrals. That is, we've sold baby products before and on a localized basis. If somebody's looking for, a specific brand of products, Dr. Brown's bottles, just to give you an example. People are looking for that product. Naturally you can go to Google and look for a store locally that has it. But, there's people that will recommend that person buys that particular product. And what I'm referring to you here is to say, find the person that normally tells people they need to buy the product that you sell and make sure that they refer you. So in this case, it's doctors. Doctors, in that specific use case, recommend that particular brand of bottle, okay? You could do like our client did, was get in with the doctors, okay, and get them so when they recommend a supplier or where to get these bottles that they need, to make sure they get them from you. They don't have any irons in the fire, so and they got to recommend somebody, why not recommend you? Assuming that they know you're not a ripoff, why not recommend you? And that, naturally, if you're going to start out with little to no marketing funds, that's the best place to start, because that's one of the things that takes more elbow grease than actual cash. Now, on the flip side, it's not very scalable, because the one drawback about referral and getting business from customers from getting referrals and having referral partners is it's easy to be forgotten and hard to maintain those relationships. And realistically, you can only maintain so many relationships. Someone had said that the maximum number of actual relationships that a person can maintain is like somewhere between 100 and 250. And after that point, it's impossible to remember the names of the people. So you've got to earn a slot in someone's head. And how do you do that? Well, you don't just talk to that, like in the example I shared with you earlier, talk to the doctor and then have them forever recommend you. That's not how it works. And if you're planning to do that, don't waste your time. you got to get in with that doctor and you got to keep following up with them periodically so they don't forget who you are, basically. It's not that somebody approaches them and gets them to refer them. It's just, how do they not forget you? That takes actual work. And just sending an employee in there to talk to them, maybe that will work. But even then, that costs money, which, you could obviously weigh the outcome of that and decide if that's going to work for you. But you need to maintain the relationship. By the way, a great way to maintain it is simply to just send Christmas presents, birthday presents. That's a way to automate it so you can maintain 100 referral sources without it taking too much of your time. We've had people do that exact thing, which is why I'm recommending it to you. But, and it might be a yearly dinner that you take them out to, but you got to do something to maintain the relationship once you've established it. And just, like anything else, you just got to do a cost-benefit analysis. Is the $100 plate steak dinner that you have to take them out to every year going to offset the sales you're going to get? Yes or no? Plus your time, obviously. If it is, you do it. If you don't have much money to start advertising, which when you start advertising, you generally need a budget that will be consistent, that you start out with, that you're not going to expect to have a positive ROI right away, but you're going to invest to get some data on what you're doing and then start to refine your ad so that it eventually will pay for itself, and then you can start scaling up the ad budget from there. And generally speaking, you need, if we're talking about US businesses, somewhere between $10 and $100 a day. Preferably more so like $30 to $100 a day. If you're not for it not to take forever for your ads to get optimized and start working and so forth. And so if you don't have the $50 a day to spend, well, maybe you just try to get you some referral partners going first. Anyway, I just thought I would recommend that as well. The next thing in line is the PPC ads. Okay, Google and Bing ads. You want to target people that, first and foremost, the easy low-hanging fruit. If you have a furniture store, you want people searching for local furniture store or local elderly care supply store and the like. Show up in the maps, but also run PPC ads so that you get the maximum amount of people to come into your store. That's pretty self-explanatory. But not only that, this is where things fall off though. People know what I just said, that where the value is there. But what they don't do is they don't target people looking for products they sell. You have a major advantage on all the national sellers of the products that you sell when people are searching online to buy from a national seller. Because if you sell motorcycle jackets, this is a use case, a client we've actually worked for, they type in motorcycle jackets, they're looking for a motorcycle jacket online or didn't anticipate buying from someone locally. You can now have an ad that says, motorcycle jackets in Dallas, 50% off for 4th of July sale. And now you've captured their attention enough to go to your website. They get to your website. Then you mention browse online for the jacket you want, then come in, or just come in, or browse online and just buy online and then pick it up in store or have it shipped to yourself. You give them all these options, and that's a really profitable formula that we found. And so most of our sales for most brick and mortar stores is targeting product level searches like this with the landing page like I talked about, because there's so much traffic to tap into, and you could generate millions of dollars a year in sales for most businesses that exact way, at least in any semi-mainstream thing where you're not talking about something super niche that just not very many people search for in general. And you would obviously know if that's the case because you can use Google Keyword Planner to know the search volumes for the keywords that you're talking about. Internet itself, our bread and butter. We're going to target people looking for, let's say, motorcycle jackets, but also brand level searches. People looking for certain brands of motorcycle jackets. Harley Davidson motorcycle jackets. And target those people as well. Which, by the way, the reason why you have a major edge also on all your national competition who may have much better websites that can look better, therefore can convert better. When you're local, they trust you more if you're a local business that's just down the street, for the most part, not in all cases, but for the most part. And they like the fact that they can come and pick it up in the store the same day. You have that advantage. They also like the fact that if they need to return it, they can just drop it off into your store. They also like the fact that they can physically handle the product before they buy it. Or they buy it and they pick it up in store and they can handle it. And if they don't like it, they can change their mind at the last second. So you have all these advantages. And you should play up all these advantages in your marketing. Actually mention the stuff I'm talking about on the landing page you're taking them to. Which, by the way, on that landing page, if you need an actual example of a template to use for this, you can reach out to me at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to share with you how these pages should look. But you absolutely want to have a different landing page for each product category you have. If you are the motorcycle gear store, you want to have a page just for gloves, just for jackets, just for motorcycle accessories like bags, so that when they get to the page, they know right away without having to question that you offer the bags. Because if you have an ad that says motorcycle bags for sale when they're searching for motorcycle bags, and then you take them to a page that just says motorcycle gear for sale, they're wondering if that ad was for real or not. And the more they wonder like that, the less sales and ROI you get every time. Just make it so simple for them to understand that you offer what it is that you promised, and you'll way more sales. And so yes, and obviously it takes a lot of time to set up all these landing pages, but that's where the real money is. We're going to do that every time because it crushes it so much. So anyway, that's what we're going to do there as well. So outside of motorcycle stores near me, motorcycle stores, people type it in that kind of search, it's motorcycle jackets for sale, Harley Davidson motorcycle jackets, store like a motorcycle dealership that sells jackets and supplies and all that, and make a larger metro area, top 50 metro market, and make several $1,000,000s a year in sales just doing what I told you right, and scaling up the ads, and ultimately end up maxing it out for yourself on Google. And then also if you want to add Bing there, get yourself another 20% of the market share that's available to get and available to you online that way as well. Why? Because there's so many people searching for products like you sell. All you need is a decent mousetrap to monetize that attention, and you can do it. And the way that I say, none of your competition's more than likely going to be doing what I'm telling you to do. Or if they are, they're just going to direct them to the damn homepage on their website, and that's not efficient enough. And for that matter, they're probably not even doing that. They're probably just targeting motorcycle stores near me as a keyword, and that's it. Not individual product level searches, because people think by default, oh, how am I going to get somebody searching for a motorcycle jacket to come into my store? Because if they're typing that in, they're just looking for an e-commerce store. And the reality is they are, but it's easy to get them to just reconsider their purchase. You are the local supplier where I can come in right now and get it. Therefore, you have the ability to convert higher than the e-commerce store. Therefore, you can definitely afford to pilfer that traffic for yourself. So there's that. Now, the next thing you could do, you weren't satisfied with the millions they're already going to make just doing what I said to do right. You got your competitor searches. Anybody looking for any competitor store locally, you're going to have your ad show up, and you're going to have an ad, assuming that there's a big lifetime value from getting somebody who normally goes to the other shop to come to you. You could say, new customer special, 50% off any of your first initial purchase. Just bring your receipt in to prove that you do business with that other place. Boom, you'll have a bunch more customers just from that method right there. Okay? And beyond that, to add to all this, you got to have really good conversion tracking if you're going to really crush it with these systems. Google is going to, if you link up your Google business profile with your Google Ads account, they'll let you do in-store tracking. That is, somebody who searched for that ad, got to your landing page, then came in and buy, you'll be able to see that they at least came into the store, which is practically speaking, if you just optimize for in-store visits from your ads, you're already going to do really, really well with the machine learning that Google has and so forth. So you should do that. Plus offline conversion tracking. That is, when somebody buys in store, okay, you get that particular person's name and you track the form fills on your landing page, the phone calls on your landing page, and if they inquired and then they came in and buy, a list of every customer who bought in store and what their name is, which you can get their name by giving them a little bit of an incentive. Fill out this rebate form and we'll give you 10% off your purchase. You do that so you can actually have a little bit better tracking data. Then you import into your account sales, if you will, and then how much they spent along with that, because you can get it by offering them the incentive for filling out the rebate form. And eventually you just optimize for whatever's getting you big purchases, big sales, instead of just optimizing for what's going to bring you an in-store visit. Beyond that, okay, you can also do lifetime value tracking along with rebate form to get 10% off your purchase, you can now track that customer through their future purchases as well. Because every time they come in and buy, you can say, what's your name? And you may not feel comfortable with that. You may have to give them an incentive to like track all their future purchases. But I highly recommend this because there's a huge difference in the value of one type of customer that comes from traffic source A versus traffic source B. Somebody who buys a motorcycle jacket will be on average spending, let's say $350 on average, versus somebody who buys gloves is going to be worth, $75 lifetime over their lifespan as a whole. And you got to know this to be able to really max out what you're doing with these ads. And because you got to understand what you can pay to get a customer from one traffic source versus another, one keyword over another, or at least one category of another. So you want to track the lifetime value of a customer. With that said, when you do your customer tracking on the rebate form, you could say, how did you find us? If they said they found you on Google, okay, and they bought a motorcycle jacket, okay, the people that do those categories, if you will, they spend this. If they came from Google and they bought from this product category, they on average spend this. Now I can go back to my Google Ads account and adjust what I'm willing to pay to get somebody to come into the store for this product category over this one. Given that, yes, the actual value, you can kind of tell right off the bat that I should be spending more for a jacket versus a pair of gloves. You should go beyond that and realize, at least if you have repeat customers in the business that you're in, which you probably do because it's a brick and mortar business, you understand that just because someone buys a pair of gloves and they only spend $20 doesn't mean that customer is not worth a hell of a lot more once you get them into the store, because they're willing to buy gloves and a jacket typically, and then they come back 5 times or whatever. You got to be able to do that level of analysis with what you're doing to truly scale your campaign all the way. You also can do special offers. So on your landing pages, you should also have a special offer on there to do better tracking as well. Because what people will do when you ask them, how did you find us? They'll say Google. Well, that doesn't differentiate if it's Google PPC or organic, right? So if you have on your landing page a special offer that says, mention this ad and get 10% off your order, when they actually go to buy, they'll mention that ad, if you will, and then you'll know for sure that they came from Google Ads, and it'll help you do a little bit better tracking. And you can do a different offer for every landing page that you create. And then, at the end of the day, you can tabulate also not only just how many purchases came in from your ads, but from each category, and it'll help you differentiate a little bit more. I would recommend that, but mainly just to track how many overall purchases are coming from your ads to justify your return and tabulate your return on investment. Do long-term value tracking of all the customers that come in, so you understand. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to be able to understand what a customer is worth that comes from these ads, so you know what to spend to get a customer from your ads and take it as far as possible for yourself. By the way, yes, everything I mentioned here takes some time to get this set up. If you want somebody who actually knows what they're doing to set this up for you, I've done it, basically a dozen times already. If you want me to set it up for you, I can do it for you at our advertising firm. You have to reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be more than happy to give you an estimate of how much time and money it would take to get this set up, and more importantly, what the return would be. And then also what we can guarantee for you in terms of response and profitability. As I mentioned, that's one of the things we do at our firm. We don't work with just any client per se out there. If we're going to offer a guarantee to people, to you, we got to know we can get great results with your campaign up front first. But if you want to see if we can work together and if we can offer you that guarantee, you can reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to at least consult with you and see if it's possible and what we can actually offer. We also sell ad templates. If you're selling motorcycle gear or elderly care supplies or whatever, and we've already worked in your space, you would be absolutely kicking your own ass by not buying the ad templates we have available for your niche market, where we've already done all the optimization. We've done the lifetime value analysis of a customer of one product over another, know what keywords work over another and what ads work over another. We could sell you everything to copy paste into your account, literally speaking, for a one-time fee. We can give you all the files, the landing pages. At the very least, you should reach out to us and see if we worked in your niche market and what results we got, because then you would know what you stand to gain. There's no harm in asking us what results we got in your space. Then you can decide if it's for you or not. For the most part, though, if we've already worked in your space, the templates are going to be worth it, because you're going to spend way more than that in ad spend and wasted ad spend to find out what's not worth advertising on that way than you would just paying us for the template. So we also offer those as well. We got them in a bunch of markets. You could even start a whole other business off the back of the template. The easiest way to start a business is to have the template that sells a product profitably and then just start your business around there. We got people that do that. They do that and they sell leads using our templates because it generates leads at such a low cost. We got people that wanted to sell product, they didn't know how, and they just knew that our campaign template would sell the product at a decent ROI, and they started their business off of that, and that was like a business on training wheels for them. Anyway, with that said, going back to the content here, so that's Google and Bing, okay? You're also going to want to, if you want even more results, do Facebook ads. And for Facebook ads, for local product sales, I'm going to say outside of remarketing, okay, to get people that have hit your site to make sure that they finished their purchase, or if they were, because a lot of times people are going to get to your landing page, they weren't ready to come in, but if you marketed to them over the next 2 weeks, well, you can get a lot more to come in. And that's one way to make Facebook ads work. But beyond that, you got customer lists. Anybody who's bought from you in the past, which when you do that rebate program, part of the value you get out of it, the rebate form that you give them at checkout, part of the value you get from that as well is you get their email address. So you can then upload that to your Facebook ads account and then power your Facebook ads on that customer list, which you can get them back into the store at a much higher rate than if you did no marketing to your list and what you do there is you just simply run periodic promotions. Hey, motorcycle riders, valued customers, we're offering a promotion in July. Spend over $500 and we'll give you 25% off anything that you have in the store. Good for the next 2 weeks. Bang, you run that ad, you're going to get a bunch of people to come into your store. And it's like turnkey on tap, amping up the amount of and accuracy of your tracking by offering an in-store rebate program during checkout, to give them 10% to cough up their information. You can also use it to then run your Facebook ad campaigns on later. And so you have that, and then also you have your competitor list. So one thing, and this is a really advanced strategy for somebody who's not an advertising person, but there are out there existing lists of customers who buy products like yours in general. So if you sell elderly care supplies, lists out there of people that you can tap into and rent and access that have bought elderly care supplies in the last 6 months. That is, they're known buyers. One place of which you can get access to such data is Nextmark mailing lists. You can Google that. You go there and you search for customer lists that match the business that you're in. And if you can find that, which that's just one supplier of such data lists, you get access to their list, you get their email addresses, you download it, you upload it to your Facebook account. Then you can run Facebook ads at known buyers of people who buy the type of products you sell. And then it makes it a way more likely you can make Facebook ads profitable for yourself because you're not getting your ads in front of people who are non-buyers anymore. This will work particularly well if you're selling a more niche item like motorcycle gear. Instead of just advertising it to everybody, hoping you find somebody who actually rides a motorcycle, and knowing that every person who doesn't ride a motorcycle, you have to pay to get that ad in front of them anyway. Given that the lower your click-through rate on your ad, the higher your cost per click is going to be. You just get in front of the exact people who buy stuff that you sell already. Then it's just, can I come up with a compelling offer to get this known buyer to buy from me? And once they come buy from you once, they're more likely to buy from you a second time. Especially when you have the ads in the back end going, that gets people who are customer to buy from you again, because you have customer list targeting through the initial campaign you set up to just target your customer. You can do that as well. Now, that goes over like the high level of how all this stuff works. I've talked about, in terms of brick and mortar, setting up these landing pages, the structure of it, how to set up the ads for local service brick and mortar companies. I've done this already in the past, actually. You can go to my channel homepage and search for these other videos, or just in the comment section ask me to point you in the right direction of those videos. But with that said, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, legitimately, seriously make millions of dollars running ads for your business on an ongoing basis, you need to subscribe to this channel, as the information I'm giving you on this channel is coming from somebody who spent 20 years to figure out what it is that I'm telling you on this channel. And it's unique in that 99% of the other bozos on YouTube and online that talk about ad strategy are regurgitating information from second, third, fourth hand sources. They don't even run any ads, and it's changing too quick and it's too hard to just read a textbook and tell you out of a textbook what works. And I promise you these people aren't running ads. I know it because I'm in the space. Or if they run ads, they run a couple ads. They don't spend 40 hours a week like I do doing ad testing by itself, not even just management of ads, but testing of ads is my sole job. If you're going to pay attention to anything and anyone, you're going to pay attention to this at least in addition. So you should subscribe if you haven't already. Not to mention, you should also check out my blog. If you like the channel, you're going to like the blog as well. It's even more valuable. It has step-by-step instructions to copy-paste strategies we use to guarantee results for clients that are firm into your own ad accounts with screenshots, with everything. You should check that out as well. And if you have any questions about anything I'm covering here, by the way, I offer free advice/feedback to anybody watching. Just leave me a comment in the comment section. I'd be happy to do that for you. But with that said, I talked about how to actually set up the stuff like our go-tos in the local brick and mortar space on what actually get a campaign to scale up to millions of dollars a year in sales, what we're using. There's some other stuff that we use but only works for certain people that sell certain items. And so I kind of stayed away from those. If you want to know more about what those are, you'll have to ask me and tell me what you're selling. But with that said, I talked about at the start of this video, I'd give you the information about the type of return that we're seeing from the campaigns that we're running and all that. Okay. Starting with, I'll tell you, we had a mattress seller. Okay. We had a mattress seller that sells locally in store and also online. Okay. With this, we were able to generate 1,000% plus ROI from this campaign running the system that I was talking to you here with no Facebook, just Google ads, not even Bing, just Google, okay? And targeting people that were looking for mattresses online, redirecting them and getting them into the store. Granted, it was a specialized kind of mattress. The return, I promise you, was there, and this shows you how effective this can be for a product that is as saturated or market as saturated as in the mattress space. It doesn't get any more saturated than that, okay? We did this in the motorcycle gear space, okay? Same thing, 1,000% ROI once you add it up. And by the way, the best way to do this to see if your return is just as what it actually is, because there's gaps in the marketing of people coming into the store that aren't going to at least call you first before they come in and buy, and ain't going to give you the personalized information, or they're going to come into the store and then come back 2 weeks later and there's a gap in your data. You're going to have to look at and measure total sales divided by a ratio of ad spend. So if you're looking for a 10-to-1 return, what you're really going to do is say, my sales are $500,000 a year now, therefore my budget's $50,000 a month, and I'm going to try to get my $50,000 a month to get me to $600,000 in sales. And when I do, I'm going to raise my budget to $60,000 a month, and you're going to keep walking your sales up that way specifically. And that's how we know we got a 10-to-1 return. Practically speaking, the only thing that we were doing to bring in new customers was the change in the ad. So we know the return is there. Therefore, and that's the best way to track it, given it's not so cut and dry. That said, by the way, you can use the online tracking methods on Google, on Facebook to track really well and to know one keyword over another, one ad over another should work to make refinements in what you're doing. It's just not great at all at telling what your total return on investment is, just to clarify on things. But in the motorcycle gear, motorcycle shop space, selling motorcycle gear products, people searching for those, got over 1,000% return as well. Actually, in that case, it was 1,200% plus. So even better. It's a more niche item, so I was expecting to get an even better return. The more niche of whatever you sell is, the more the ROI is going to be, but the less the sales volume, total max sales you're going to get out of it, obviously, as well. So there's that drawback, or you can expect that. We also had a furniture store. People looking for, on Google, furniture store. We also ran ads on Microsoft. Did not run Facebook ads for this, and got over a 900% return in this particular case as well. So as you can see, this can be done and can be replicated. Doesn't matter if you are in something you think is competitive, this works. In the furniture store space, just to also give you a point of reference, mainly our return would come from people looking for furniture stores near me and so forth, and you're going to target people within a 15-mile radius around the store. But people that are looking for certain brands of couches, certain styles of couches, we would target all that. And to do it right, it takes a long time to get that actually set up so that somebody looking for a red couch, you can drive them to a page on your site that shows you have 6 red couches for sale locally. That takes time to set up, but if you want to make millions of dollars, it's not going to be easy either. People aren't going to screw around and go to your homepage and then dig through your site to see the 6 red couches you sell. You either have to, so my advice is either go all the way that I described it here, or just don't waste your time. You're not going to get, or at least you're not going to get the type of return that I'm talking about here, where it's 900, 1,000, 1,200%. Okay, got it? And we've done this multiple other times before. We've also run Facebook ads as well before in order to get even more sales than what outside of what Google can provide, what Bing can provide in and itself through the search engine advertising itself, okay? Which, by the way, also just so that you know, on Google and on Bing, you're gonna run the search ads and the shopping. They both work, okay? A lot of people who click the shopping ads, believe it or not, will still come into the store. A lot of them will buy through the cart, but a lot of them will also still come into the store. You have the edge because you're not just having to sell to them through the cart and that's it. Some people will come in and that will make your conversion rates higher, and that'll make you able to monetize the traffic better than an online only guy, so to say. Beyond that, if we're talking about Facebook in and itself, okay, we also sold surfing gear, a coastal city, okay, because it's more niche. The Google ads is only going to get you so much. The Bing ads are only going to get you so much. If you want to really get your local ads to work and scale up to millions in sales, you're going to need the Facebook ads, targeting people who are already buyers that we already know are surfers. Surfers, yes, that's great. We can target them, but more so in that space, as is probably going to be in your space if you're in anything similar. It's going to be people who buy for their surfing hobby. They buy the latest boards, they buy the wetsuits and what have you, and you get access to that customer list online, and then you market out of them on Facebook until they become a customer, and then you keep marketing and marketing and marketing and advertising to them again and again and again. That said, Google Ads certainly is more efficient because these people are already ready to buy instead of trying to interrupt them, but in the surfing space, we were still able to get over a 550 return on investment, 550% ROI on our ad spend with the little bit of Google we did have in the Facebook, given more than half of our sales were coming through the Facebook that we were doing, not the Google ads. So that certainly is what weighed down the ROI. You should certainly, if you're going more Google, it should be closer to 1,000% ROI. If you're going more Facebook, 300 to 600% ROI, which a lot of you guys will scoff at that, but keep in mind, that even if you were to break even on the customers that you're acquiring through Facebook, your business is going to grow because that's going to help you rank higher organically, rank higher in the maps. Why? Because you have all this additional traffic coming to your website, all this traffic typing in your brand name into Google, which is a signal to Google to rank you higher. People leaving you reviews at a higher rate than you were before, which is also a ranking signal. And you're going to make it up just in that and then the referrals. So don't, really think about things in a vacuum, because when you're doing marketing, when running ads for your business, yes, you want to make a return on your ad spend, but realistically, more often than not in a competitive market, we're not expecting the world in terms of a direct ROI. We're running our ads as much as we can because we know if we spend $1 million a month in advertising, our brand's going to go through the roof in terms of exposure. And then at that point, you can shut off the ads. Now you're already known. You don't even need it anymore. So like the ads is a mechanism to get known, if you will, a scalable one that you can bootstrap your business on and get going. Whereas if you weren't willing to break even on your ads, you would have never got there in the first place, if that makes sense. Even though you'd still run the ads once you're already up and going like that. But anyway, with that said, that points out pretty much everything I wanted to tell you about this, the return, what to do, how to do it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you actually go out there and do this stuff. And I'll actually see you on the next one.
Remember when I said PPC ads was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.